In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on January 5th, 2026, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Phoenix Suns versus Houston Rockets. The Suns are still short. Grayson Allen and Jalen Green is listed as out, while the Rockets have ruled out Alperen Sengun and have Steven Adams tagged as questionable. The Suns come in red hot, riding one of the better stretches anyone has had lately, but that kind of emotional high after a dramatic win over the Thunder last night can set up a classic flat spot. You get that natural emotional swing, big comeback one night, then a quick turnaround in a different building the next. On the other side, the Rockets had a 4-game win streak going before stumbling in their last outing, and they now get to reset at home with extra rest built in. That part matters more than people admit, because tired legs usually show up on closeouts and late-game decision-making, not just on box score minutes. They also have home court working for them, which has already been a real edge for this group. Houston is rested, at home, and they have quietly beaten the Suns 6 straight times while covering in 5 of those matchups. The Suns are not only on the second night of a back-to-back, they are coming off that emotional last-second comeback that can feel like a mini playoff win. Classic letdown territory for them, at least situationally. However, this same Suns team just keeps cashing, sitting at 23-11-1 against the spread on the season, which is not a fluke-level sample anymore. Like yesterday, it almost feels like you are forced to keep riding the Suns as long as the spread tickets keep getting there. Odds makers clearly have not fully bought into them yet. The numbers keep shading against Phoenix, and we might be at the point where it is fair to ask if this is simply a legitimately good team instead of a lucky one. The Rockets losing Sengun, one of their best offensive engines, is a real blow to their usual rhythm, especially in the half court. Honestly, I still lean to the Rockets getting the actual win at home because of rest, building familiarity, and that historical matchup edge, but the spread itself looks a little disrespectful to what the Suns have shown so far. So the angle becomes less about picking the straight-up winner and more about recognizing that the line once again feels a touch short on Phoenix, given how consistently they have covered. As our first pick for this matchup, the Phoenix Suns to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Phoenix Suns are averaging 115.3 points on 46.6% shooting while giving up 113.2 points on 47.2% shooting. From deep, they are hitting 36.4% of their threes and 79.5% at the free throw line, while allowing opponents to shoot 35.5% from beyond the arc and pulling down 43.3 rebounds per game. The Houston Rockets are putting up 120 points per game on 49% shooting and allowing 111.4 points on 46.6%. They are knocking down 39.3% from 3 and 78% at the stripe, while giving up 35.8% from long range and grabbing a hefty 48.8 rebounds per game. So on paper it looks like a game that could explode, but the details push the other way a bit. Here is the thing, the Suns playing on a back-to-back often means slightly slower pace, more half-court sets, and a little more reliance on mid-range and free throws instead of constant transition. That kind of game flow chews clock. On top of that, Houston losing Sengun removes a key facilitator and inside scoring threat, which can tighten their offense, even if other players step up and take more shots. You still get capable offenses, but you also get 2 defenses that can hold their own and 2 teams that can control tempo when needed. So while the raw averages scream offense, the situational factors, fatigue on one side, a key injury on the other, and both teams having the tools to get stops, all lean toward a total that lands a bit short of the number rather than sailing over it. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Denver Nuggets versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Nuggets are still missing Nikola Jokic, Cameron Johnson, and Jonas Valanciunas, while the 76ers have Kelly Oubre Jr. and Trendon Watford ruled out again. That list alone already tells you which locker room feels lighter walking into this game. Denver has really gone cold since Jokic went down, and now they are even thinner at the center spot with Valanciunas also out, so the size problem is not subtle anymore. Philadelphia, on the other hand, is quietly putting things together with 3 wins in a row, relatively healthy bodies, and a clear edge inside with Embiid in strong form right now. He is getting comfortable, the touches look purposeful, and the game is slowing down to his pace in the paint. The Nuggets come in as big underdogs here, and it makes sense, especially with this being the second game of a back-to-back for them, the kind of setup where tired legs usually show up in the fourth quarter. Despite the 12-point loss at Brooklyn last night, there are some small positives for Denver since Christian Braun and Aaron Gordon both returned from injuries. Whether either of them suits up again in the second part of the back-to-back is still a question, and that uncertainty alone is not exactly reassuring against a physical opponent. Denver does have a winning 3-2 straight-up record in 5 games in this back-to-back scenario, but it is worth stressing that Jokic played in all 3 of those wins. Without him and without his backup Valanciunas, this front court is in serious danger of getting bullied by Philadelphia if Embiid is on the court again. For the home side, this is a clean chance to grab a 4th straight win, something they have managed only once this season. Their form has been trending upright as their main players have started to look healthier. Embiid has put together a solid stretch, even throwing down his first dunk of the season in that upset win at Madison Square Garden, which is one of those small moments that tell you his confidence and lift are coming back. Tyrese Maxey is causing real problems too, blowing past defenders so often that he has climbed to 3rd in the league in scoring, and that constant pressure keeps defenses scrambling. Paul George is stacking steady performances as well, which gives Philly another reliable source of offense and a safety valve when possessions bog down. Without Jokic, this version of the Nuggets looks like a lottery-level team on most nights. If you then talk about also missing Braun, Valanciunas, and Gordon, even as a realistic possibility, you are staring at a group that can easily slide into bottom 5 territory in this league, and the last week has already hinted at that floor. Meanwhile, the 76ers are as healthy as they have been all year, sitting at 20-12 to 1 against the spread, and they have covered 7 of their last 10. This number is huge, but it feels driven far more by Denver's injury report and fatigue than by any wild overconfidence in Philly. Honestly, until the Nuggets get some key players back and you can trust their rotation again, it is hard to see much reason to step in front of the home favorite here. Everything seems to be coming together for the 76ers while the Nuggets are slipping, having dropped 4 of their last 5, and with so much uncertainty around Braun, Gordon, and even Murray, backing the home team to win and cover makes the most sense by the time you add it all up. As our first pick for this matchup, the Philadelphia 76ers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The scoring profile gives us a different angle to think about. The Denver Nuggets are averaging 128 points on 50.8% shooting and allowing 121.6 points on 47.3% shooting. They are hitting 40% from beyond the arc and 82.6% from the free throw line, while allowing opponents to shoot 35.2% from deep and grabbing 44.7 rebounds per game. The Philadelphia 76ers are averaging 117 points on 45.2% shooting and giving up 118.1 points on 46.5% shooting. They are shooting 36.2% from 3 and 81.4% at the stripe, while allowing 34.4% from long range and pulling down 44.8 rebounds per game. On paper, those numbers almost look like a scoreboard operator's dream, with both sides capable of filling it up. Here is the thing though, those Denver averages are heavily influenced by games where Jokic was on the floor steering everything. With him sidelined and Valanciunas also out, their offensive ceiling naturally dips, and the chances of forced jumpers and broken possessions go up. Add in the fatigue factor from playing on the second night of a back-to-back, and it is very reasonable to expect a slower pace, more half-court sets, and fewer of those free-flowing transition bursts that inflate totals. Philly's scoring profile is solid, but their recent improvement has also come from better rhythm and better health, not just an obsession with running up the score. Embiid's presence often leads to longer possessions as he draws double teams, gets to the foul line, or simply backs defenders down, which all choose time off the clock. Maxey will still push the tempo in spots, and George can knock down shots at all 3 levels, but a lot of that can still happen inside a controlled game script where the total does not necessarily skyrocket. So while the raw points per game and shooting numbers might hint at a wild shootout, the current reality of Denver's injuries, their back-to-back spot, and Philly's ability to slow things down through their star big man all lean toward a more contained scoring environment. It feels more likely that this matchup lands under the projected number than that it turns into a full track meet for 4 quarters. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Golden State Warriors versus Los Angeles Clippers. The Warriors are still short-handed, with Seth Curry listed as out, while the Clippers are missing Derrick Jones Jr., Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Bradley Beal. You can honestly make a case for either side here, because both teams come in feeling good about themselves and carrying some recent winning momentum. That said, the Clippers have looked a touch sharper overall, and this feels like a spot where they will want to answer back after getting embarrassed in their last outing. Normally, when the Warriors are close to full strength and catching points, they are pretty tempting as underdogs. Here, it is a little different. They are on the road, where they have already dropped 12 games, and that is not a small number. Travel, different rims, and less comfort with the environment can chip away at even good teams, especially in tight contests. On top of that, the Warriors have lost 8 of their last 10 meetings against the Clippers, which hints at some matchup problems or at least a trend that is hard to ignore. Meanwhile, the Clippers are in their best stretch of basketball of the season, and they are back at home, where 8 of their 12 wins have come. That home floor clearly helps their rhythm. The biggest shift lately has been on the defensive side for the Clippers. Their effort has picked up during this winning streak, rotations are sharper, and they are making life more uncomfortable for opposing shooters. When you pair that with their recent confidence and the Warriors' road struggles, the favorite starts to look more appealing than the underdog in this spot. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Clippers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Golden State Warriors are averaging 115.2 points on 45.5% shooting and allowing 113.9 points on 46.6% shooting. They are hitting 36.3% from beyond the arc and 81.9% from the free throw line, while allowing 34.6% shooting from deep and pulling down 43.6 rebounds per game. The LA Clippers are averaging 115.8 points on 47.3% shooting and giving up 118.1 points on 47.4% shooting. They are connecting on 36.5% of their threes and 84.3% at the line, while allowing 37.6% from long range and grabbing 41.6 rebounds per game. So both teams can score, and both are capable of efficient shooting nights, especially from outside. When you look at those defensive numbers, neither side is exactly locking the door on the perimeter. The Warriors allow opponents to shoot well from deep, and the Clippers are giving up an even higher percentage from 3. Combine that with both teams sitting in the mid-100 teens in scoring on average, and you get a recipe that leans toward a higher total. You also have 2 offenses that can heat up in a hurry. The Warriors can string together quick runs from 3-point range, and the Clippers have enough firepower and free throw efficiency to keep the scoreboard ticking even when the game slows. So, while defenses will have their stretches, the overall profile looks much more like a game where the points keep coming than a slow grind. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus Portland Trail Blazers. The Jazz have ruled out George Niang and Kevin Love again, with Jusuf Nurkic and Ace Bailey both sitting in the questionable bucket, while the Trail Blazers have Jerami Grant and Jrue Holiday out and Robert Williams III tagged as questionable. On paper, that is a lot of names for both sides, and it explains why this matchup feels a bit messier than the average regular season game. The Jazz have not been playing quite as poorly as their record screams, but they are banged up right now, and they walk in as clear underdogs on the road against a Trail Blazers team that is starting to look a bit more confident, especially after taking down the Spurs in their last outing. Portland is coming off a nice week, quietly winning 4 of its last 5 games, and spots like this are exactly where they need to take care of business if they want those good vibes to stick. However, the Trail Blazers have been hit or miss overall, and that inconsistency keeps sneaking back into the conversation. The funny twist is that while the Jazz do not actually win a lot, they have been a very friendly team for bettors, sitting at a profitable 20-14 against the spread on the season. You really can make money backing the Jazz if you pick your spots. The trend between these two is pretty loud too. The underdog has covered in each of the last 6 games between the Trail Blazers and Jazz, and it is 8-2 against the spread over the last 10 meetings overall. That is not some tiny sample, that is a steady pattern of the supposedly weaker side hanging around. Utah is sneaky competitive, they fight through games more than the standings suggest, and this banged-up young Trailblazers squad just does not have the horses to blow teams out on demand. Honestly, with that mix of recent form, injury noise, and long-term underdog trends, the points with Utah look more appealing than trusting Portland to win by margin. As our first pick for this matchup, the Utah Jazz to cover the spread as underdogs is our full-game side pick. The scoring profile for this matchup tilts us into a very different kind of discussion. The Utah Jazz are averaging 119.7 points on 46.2% shooting and allowing 126.8 points on 49.1% shooting. They are shooting 35.5% from beyond the arc and 80.6% from the free throw line, while allowing 37.5% shooting from deep and grabbing 44.5 rebounds per game. The Portland Trail Blazers are averaging 116.3 points on 44.6% shooting and allowing 119.7 points on 47.5% shooting. They are hitting 34% from beyond the arc and 77.1% from the free throw line, while allowing 35.8% shooting from deep and pulling down 45.6 rebounds per game. Just reading those numbers, you can almost feel the defensive coaches frowning a little. Let me explain. Both teams score plenty, both allow plenty, and neither is exactly a brick wall on the perimeter. Utah gives up a lot of clean looks from three, and Portland does not do a great job closing out either, which means shooters on both sides should find space. Add in the free throw efficiency, especially from Utah's side, and you get a lot of chances for the clock to stop while the score keeps moving. You also have two groups that lean into offense more than into lockdown defense, which often happens with younger or injury-shuffled rosters. Rotations get sloppy, communication gets a little late, and suddenly you get stretches where both teams trade scores instead of stops. So even if there are brief lulls, the overall makeup here points toward a game where the scoreboard keeps climbing rather than stalling. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.